think it started. Excellent. Hello, everybody, and welcome to our last Lunch and Learn for 2026, 2025. And the title is Finish Strong and Start Stronger, Your BNI Holiday and the 2026 Plan. So I do want to help make sure that you're successful. And so why don't we just go ahead and start with our core values. And our core values are really instrumental in everything that we do. That's why we start all of our meetings with them. And I'd love to invite the people who are on our call live to unmute and share something that's calling out to you today. I know that none of them are your favorites. You like them all, but which one's calling out today? Danielle?
Oh, I think fun today.
I like fun. I wore fun earrings today, kind of spirit, got in the holiday spirit. Why fun today?
Actually, I was just thinking about everyone who might not be here today because they're out having fun at
Mm.
Christmas parties.
What are you talking about? This is
Um,
fun.
I know. Well, out doing Christmassy fun. And fun because yeah, it always speaks to me. And I actually find that the learning and the lunch and learns are always fun. So,
I
and
love
great to see you back, Wendy.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. All right, let's keep going then. Today's menu for lunch is 30-second referral requests. Process improvements in 2026. I want to whet your appetite on some of the things that are coming through from BNI Global, as well as from BNI Australia and from BNI Sydney Northeast. What things are we doing in order to improve the way that BNI as a system runs? So I wanted to give you a little insight into that. Growth campaigns in 2026. I really want to help your business grow, your business get the growth that you desire, sustainable, scalable, and profitable growth for your business. So we have some campaigns that we're developing in order to make BNI be part of that growth plan for you. Then I want to give you a little bit of time to think about your personal 2026 plan. And I'm getting really granular in that. Have you scheduled the time to do the things you need to do? And then finally, I'm going to finish with Ask Wendy Anything and some Q&A for you to let you guys ask questions. So think about that over the course of the next 40 minutes or so and write down some questions that you might want to ask me. And I hope stump me if you can. But whether that's about growth for your business, whether that's about growth for your chapter, whether that's about the way to have great one-to-ones, whether that's about how to overcome an objection, or whether that is about what to do over the holidays. I don't care. It could be anything, or what to eat for lunch, because I always have suggestions there. So ask Wendy anything. And so that's our menu today. 30-second referral requests. The people who are here live, for all of you who are watching the recording, the people who are here live are going to have in perpetuity these 30-second referral requests available. So I'm going to invite in this order. We're going to have Edward first, then Andrew, then Alan, then Danielle do their 30-second referral requests. Who do you want to meet? Be as specific as you can. If you can give us a name, great, because somebody out of the 330 people who watch this recording, somebody might know that person. How will we know that they need you, or what kind of story do we need to understand about them? And what question could we ask them to start the conversation about you, to make the introduction for you? And I'm going to give you a little bit more time to think about this, because in BNI, we can ask for direct referrals for transactions. We can invite you to introduce us to people who would be able to give us direct commercial transactions, people who need our service. We can also ask for referrals for referral partners or relationship-based referrals. Those are two different kinds of referrals. One results in immediate conversations about the task at hand. And the other one results in a relationship that should probably bring more referrals through. But both of them require the same sorts of work by the person who has the relationship. So if Edward asks me to introduce him to John so that John could be a referral partner for him, I still need to be able to start the conversation with John. I still need to get John's permission for the introduction to be made and for the referral to be a valuable one for Edward. I don't just want to say, I know John. I need to say, I not only know John, but I'll go talk to him about what you need and I'll ask him if it's all right if I put you in touch. A relational referral still requires permission. Does that make sense? Yeah? Cool. All right, Edward, then Andrew, then Alan, then Danielle. You get 30 seconds, and I believe my timer's working. So here we go. Edward, would you like to start? Oh, there we go.
Hello, my name is Edward. I'm from Lands Properties Buyers Agency. I'm a buyer's agent and also a relocation agent. So most people know I am a buyer's agent, helping buyers purchase properties, homes, or investment, but I also help tenants secure rentals. So the same way as a buyer's agent works, I save my clients time, energy, and putting the stress out of the process. So shortlisting the right property, inspecting on their behalf and managing the entire process. So this week or today, I would like to connect with people who have recently sold their property and now looking for a rental. So if they are short of time or energy and wanting to look for a professional helping them, send them my way. My name is Edward from Lands Properties Buyers Agency. Thank you.
Thanks, Edward. And what chapter are you from so everybody knows?
I'm from the Chatswood Legends chapter.
Of course he is. Legends. There we go.
All right, Andrew, it's your turn.
Good afternoon, team. I received a BNI referral, and the referral was to a person called Ken. And I sat down with Ken and I said, "So why would you like to have a chat with me?" And basically, Ken said to me, "I am looking for assistance because, frankly, I'm too busy to do IT. I need somebody who I can trust on a forever basis. I need somebody who is patient, who has expertise and experience and understands that jargon because, frankly, I don't want to." So what the member did with that is they said, "Can I introduce you to someone with 40 years experience talking about IT jargon with honesty and someone that you can certainly trust to manage your IT for you?" And that's the referral I'm after. Someone that can just pass the IT need left field to right field, keeping IT simple.
Thank you, Andrew. Fantastic.
Thank you for my seconds.
Absolutely. Alan Bowers, welcome. And there you go, 30 seconds on the clock.
Good afternoon, everybody. So it's that wallpaper guy, as most of you know, name is Alan. Do everything wallpaper. What I'm looking for this week or this holiday season, when you're out and about around your friends and families, parties, barbecues, just keep an eye out, listen out for anybody contemplating some renovations in the new year. And a simple question to ask them if they've seen the amount of spectacular wallpapers that are out on the market today, and if they've ever considered using wallpaper. If so, please do put them in touch with me. I will look after them like they're my own family. That's Alan, that wallpaper guy. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. And what chapter are you from, Mr. Bowers?
Oh, well, I am the MC, one of the MCs in the fabulous Surfside, Narrabee.
Woohoo! Fabulous. I didn't ask Andrew. Andrew, would you like to share what chapter you're in so everybody knows? You're muted. You're still muted.
Body and not wanting to make too much noise. There we go. I'm a humble member of BNI Presidential.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Danielle, it's your turn.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Danielle Ford, your property matchmaker based here on the Northern Beaches, and I hold the buyer's agent seat for Pittwater Professionals. The person that I want to meet this week is the owners of 97 Marine Parade. I know that they've sold their property after a very long time on the market, and I want to be able to offer my unique services. So I guess that's So what questions could you ask them is, have you found something? We we know a great buyer's agent who specializes from Manly to Palm Beach, who can help you with the multiple family purchases that you're looking for so that you don't make a mistake in such a short amount of time. It's Danielle
Fantastic.
Ford. Thank you. From Danielle Ford Property Advisory.
And you said already Pittwater professionals, so that's fantastic. Excellent. Well, I hope that the people watching this think about their 30-second referral request. How would you ask for a specific referral? Danielle, how do you spell Narang? N-A?
No, it's Marine. Marine.
Marine. So 97 Marine Parade.
Yeah.
And
And that
what?
was just an example because I thought about that whole thing about being really specific about a property.
Yeah,
And so I kind of do know those people already.
I love it. All
I do
right.
know that they need me, but I need somebody else to tell them that they need me.
Have you put your
Absolutely.
sign out the front of their place yet saying, call Danielle, call Danielle?
Oh no, it's been years of connections. So
I love it. All right. Well, thank you very much. And I hope that was a good process for you. So let me tell you guys about some of the process improvements coming in 2026 so that you can look forward to these helping your chapter leadership as well as your membership. We want to streamline the visitor registration and payment process. Something that's been bothering me for years is the fact that we have a double entry system. The member has to enter the person and register them in BNI Connect, and then the visitor has to pay through some other form of registration. And it's bothered me for a long time. I've been working with our CRM people in order to say, how could we fix this and still have access to the data that we need about the visitors, but not have a double entry system. And so we are very close to releasing a new visitor registration process that we will be able to roll out to each and every one of the chapters where they are only being registered in one system. And I think that that will help us tremendously. And I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also making sure that all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed to make sure that people get credit for the visitors that they've invited so that the vice presidents have access to the right information. And also so that we can keep track of who has visited and how often they visit. So that those are all the things that we're looking at, but I really do want to get to a single visitor registration process to make things easier. Second thing I want to do is simplify the new member chapter payments. What I mean by that is there are membership payments, and those come to me, and then they're done for the year. But the chapter has either weekly or monthly payments that the treasurers collect. And that should not be a difficult process. That should be a matter of, hi, you're a new member. Swipe this QR code and enter your information, and you're automatically going to be signed up for regular payments that come in for your chapter dues. That's how easy I'd like it to be. So we are simplifying that, and we can roll that out in each chapter as they ask for it. The third one is going to help in leadership changeover times and will also help all of our treasurers be happy. Simplifying banking changes. I don't know how many of you are aware, but every chapter has its own bank account. Every chapter at the changeover time for the top table is supposed to go into the bank, change the signatories, do all of the work. It's a lot of effort. And the bank that most of our chapters deal with is not really making that process a very simple one. So indeed, it's important for us to make some changes there. So we have a bank that we're dealing with now that we may be able to switch to in order to make all of those changes a lot easier in the future. And so that is something that I'm working on in the background. BNI Plus is something you may or may not have heard of, but BNI Plus is something that started in Canada during COVID. And it was a system where the BNI information for each chapter was automatically populated into a PowerPoint so that the PowerPoints every week did not need to be updated manually by someone. This system was so popular in Canada that BNI Global looked at it and said, how could we actually upgrade BNI Connect to enable this system for all of our chapters? And it's been tested for the last year in the United States. My friend Hazel Walker, who happens to be an executive director in both Canada and the United States, has been using it, and she stayed with me after convention for a few days and talked about how amazing it was. So she has actually hired someone. Well, she doesn't hire them. She's put someone on standby who the chapters can hire to set them up on BNI Plus, because apparently it takes a little bit of setup once you decide to use it. And once it's set up, it really does simplify all of the developments for the PowerPoint every week. I would love to fix this because I think all of us know, whether we're on the top table or in the leadership team or not, that updating the PowerPoint is one of the burdens of leadership that requires herding cats a little bit, because everybody's got a little bit to contribute. So I'd love to help fix that. And finally, Business Builder has been through a lot of iterations over the last 10 years, and it's been moved onto a platform called SCOOX, which you've seen, and that's the one we've been using for the last, I don't know, probably 8 or 9 years. And it's unfortunately been upgraded in the last year to a process that actually doesn't work very well. And everybody at BNI Global has accepted that and acknowledged that. So they are working with a new vendor, and they're working on simplifying the system and moving to the new vendor. I hope they still call it BNI Business Builder, but whatever they call it, we are going to improve it by putting it on a new back-end platform, which will make it much easier for all of us. And I thought that I would let you know that I realize that the SCHOOX platform it's called Skooks, and the Skooks platform is not as streamlined as we'd like it to be, and we are working in the background to fix it. So those are some of the improvements coming up, but I also really wanted to share with you this: growth campaigns in 2026. And we have 5 of them that I'm going to talk to you about, because this is part of your planning for 2026. So first of all, I've started talking about very openly on our BNI North Sydney Northeast Sand Pit, the Invite 3 campaign. I'll talk about that in more detail on another slide. I have not really talked too much about the next one, which is Chamber Fun. I'm going to talk to you about that one on another slide. International Networking Week campaign is coming up, and that's going to be the first week of February. And so there is a campaign that's been launched for that. I'm very excited about seeing the amount of effort that the global office has put into making that happen. I also want to let you know about something that I'm doing to test our ability to grow through chambers more. And that's by becoming an alliance partner with one chamber in order to test what kind of involvement we can have as a region in that group and see whether or not we can measure the results that we get through that. And finally, every week I run Discover BNI, don't I? Every week you promote Discover BNI. Why are we not promoting that on LinkedIn and Facebook more? That's a regional effort that I will be putting forward. I'm not asking you to. I'm going to be doing some marketing and campaigns around Discover BNI to bring people into that Discover program who may have not experienced BNI before. So let's go ahead and just share with you the Invite 3 campaign first. And I start with this slide because I do want to make sure that you realize why Invite 3 is a powerful campaign. And the reason is this: each member will get about 67% of their business from people who are in their power team. Now, we use power team quite liberally in BNI. We also use the words contact sphere. Nonetheless, a power team is a more proactive contact sphere. Okay, it's a more proactive, accountable, and organized group of people, a subgroup of a BNI chapter. And if 67% of a member's success comes from their power team, then it's important that we have strong power teams. So I want to just share with you this slide, which of course you have seen before. Events, marketing services, business services, real estate, trades, and consumer services. You might notice that I've called it consumer instead of personal services, just because this is this B2C part of our community. The rest of it is very B2B in a sense, although real estate falls into both and trades falls into both. So here are some of the members in each of the categories that we show here. And having all of these different categories open enables you to fill your chapter with more people. That is the BNI system. The BNI system is that we have seats not for businesses, but for people. Danielle has accepted the buyer's agent seat, the category. No matter what Danielle's business does, that's fine. Danielle's business can be vast. It could be a big enterprise. But what she's applied for is the buyer's agent seat. And that buyer's agent seat is located right here in, where is it? Do we have it even listed?
Funny, it's actually missing off that
Do
line.
you see how many we have that we could still have it missing? I probably put it under real estate rather than consumer services, but it is a consumer service.
We can move etc. down and slip it in under real estate.
Yeah. So buyer's agent fits under there. But if Danielle also did property management, property inspection, had commercial loan enterprises that were available, all of those things, that's fine. Her business does those things. But in BNI, in her one-to-ones, in her 30-second commercials, in her referral requests, in her conversations with members, she has a specific seat. And that enables us to have more people in the chapter, which gives us access to more referral opportunities. That's the BNI system. That's what we've all bought into. So it's very important to stay in your lane and to learn how to work with the other people in those other categories, even if you do those services. All right? Even if you do those services. So it helps you have a bigger network and it helps your chapter be more successful, which in turn grows your business more. So it's important that you select that seat very strategically. And if you decide you want to change your seat, like moving from a buyer's agent role to a property inspection role or a property management role, that you decide which one strategically do you want to work with within your chapter, and that's the one you select. If Alan had people who also did painting, he could apply for a painting role rather than the wallpaper role. He could decide which one he wanted. And even though his business did both things, he would be better off having a painter and a wallpaper person in his chapter. So just to use examples from the people who are here in the room. So this is what we want to achieve. And in order to do that, and I want you to think both selfishly and altruistically, because the Invite 3 Growth Challenge is about both. Strategically, we need to get into good habits in 2026. Good habits include this: strategically inviting 3 people to visit your chapter each and every week. And I'm going to be specific about who you should be inviting. 1 person to grow your power team. Who is missing from your chapter? Now, you might not know that person anymore. You might have exhausted the people on your phone. The people in your contact list might be gone, But if you really need, and I'll just do something, for example, if you really need a massage therapist to complete your contact sphere or to complete your power team, then you should look up people you don't know and invite them to come and visit your chapter meeting, for example. Okay? So to fill your power team, you're going to invite one person each week. You're also going to invite someone else, someone to grow someone else's power team. So maybe that week you're sitting next to someone in the building category or in the health and wellness category, and you ask them, listen, who would you really like to have in the chapter? Who's missing? And they tell you while you're sitting there. You say, great, I'm going to invite one for next week. Okay? So you could rotate. Every time you sit by someone different, you could invite someone different to help them. And the third person you should invite, someone to see the next week's showcase presentation. So if Andrew is presenting the next week and Andrew wants to meet people who have businesses that have at least 10 employees because they have stronger IT requirements than people with 8 employees, then you would be able to think, in my network, do I know someone who has 10 employees? I'm going to invite them to meet Andrew. A specific reason to invite them. By getting into the habit of inviting people every week, you will actually benefit. You need to make the list of 3 people each and every week. And so I'm suggesting that you do that during your chapter meeting. While you're there for 90 minutes, think about who are the 3 people you're going to invite. And then here's the crux. If you don't do this bullet, it won't happen. So for 2026, I highly recommend that you book 15 minutes in your diary today for every single, in Alan's case, every Wednesday, in Danielle's case, every Thursday, and in Edward and Andrew's case, every Friday. Pop 15 minutes into your diary at a time that doesn't usually get bumped and make 3 calls during that 15 minutes. If it takes you 5 minutes, then you get 10 left. Bonus. But if you book 15 minutes and you force yourself for the whole entire year to make those 3 calls, you will succeed in bringing more people to your chapter in a very strategic way. Add it to your diary and do it every week. And I would like to challenge you to use the phone rather than using text or social media to make those calls.
That's a novel idea. Pick up the phone.
Pick up the phone. If you use the phone and you get voicemail, then of course you could send them a text message that enables you to tell them who you are and why you're inviting them and what you'd like to do. Inviting is a habit you need to form. Share your inviting success with your team. In your WhatsApp chat, say, I just finished inviting 3, and use the hashtag in order to share, because your energy and activity will be contagious. Even if you're the only one who does it, week after week, you say, I invited 3. Week after week, your chapter will have more visitors and your chapter will grow. Interestingly, your chapter will grow for 2 reasons. Because you're inviting strategically, not flippantly. You're inviting people who are missing from the chapter. So that will ensure that the people who you're inviting who actually end up coming have open categories. And secondly, you're inviting specifically to introduce people to the speaker. And that means that the speaker's business may be able to grow because the speaker will actually have an opportunity to present to people who need or might need their service. And it's their job to follow up. So that is the Invite 3 Growth Challenge. And I really think that forming this habit is going to be a game changer for you and for your chapter. The second campaign is called Chamber Fun. Now, Danielle already spoke about how fun is one of our core values, and that's what I want to do. I don't want this to be chamber work. I want this to be chamber fun. And the interesting thing about networking is that networking is where visibility leads to credibility, which leads to profitability. Visibility in a chamber enables people to see you once. Credibility builds when they see you regularly and they start to get to know, like, and trust you. And then profitability comes when they begin to be able to recall who you are and recommend you, whether that's in the room or even when you're away from the room. So here are the things that I will be doing from a regional perspective. I will be creating a list of all the local business chambers that I can find. I'm probably going to use Chatty to help me create the list. I'm going to create a calendar of events based on what they have listed online for all of the events that are in the business chambers. And I'm going to share that information with you. I'm also going to send out a survey to all of the members in our region to see what you're already involved in. Not just chambers, but also associations. I'd love to find out more about the associations that we're involved with. I'm also going to encourage all members, all 330 of us, to be visible participants and or members in one chamber or association outside of BNI. One. If you're already a member of one, tick. If you're a member of multiple, great. Assess whether you're getting value out of them and whether you're actually visible. Many people are members of chambers and members of associations, but they aren't visible because they don't attend. Why? Because they don't have an attendance policy. So they don't go because it's busy. They don't go because they got something else going. Whereas in BNI, we always show up because we have a commitment from our membership that we get a reserved seat at the table for our category. And I'm going to encourage all members to attend one event per month outside of BNI. One event. And we're going to use the hashtag Chamber Fun to spread the word. Take a photo when you're out, put Chamber Fun to spread the word. I'm also going to share some etiquette with us about how to attend chambers. I mean, attending chambers is very, very powerful. Supporting the chamber is really important. Just like when you visit another chapter, you want to have good etiquette there. You want to honor the people who are there. You don't want to poach people away from a chapter to join yours or to come and be involved with yours at the expense of their chapter. Instead, you want to go there to help them. Givers gain. We need to go to chambers with givers gain in mind. How can we make the chapter thrive? How can we make the chamber thrive? So that is our Chamber Fun campaign. International Networking Week is coming up the week of February 1st through 7th in 2026. And it's an amazing opportunity for us to invite people to visit our BNI environment. A good excuse for people to come that specific week. And a great reason for us to be active the last 2 weeks of January in our inviting. So the last 2 weeks of January, there is a phase of the campaign about the inviting. And then during International Networking Week, there's another phase. Today, I received an amazing PowerPoint slide that's about 16 slides long, and I recorded a video training where I went through that slide deck in order to share with you the 2 components of this campaign. I'm not going to repeat that information right now. I've already told you enough of it. Phase 1 is inviting people to come and visit your chapter during the event. And phase 2 is to actually spread the word about people who are visiting your chapter that week and to get visibility. Some of the benefits of using the right hashtags and being involved in this online and social media exercise is that Ivan Meisner might share your posts, which would be amazing for the algorithms on your LinkedIn and on your Facebook. So those are the 3 campaigns I wanted to talk about. I also want to share with you 2 regional initiatives. The first one is growing our funnel of potential visitors. We want to grow our funnel of potential visitors. And so the two things that we're doing is the alliance partnership with the Macquarie Park Ride Business Chamber, and then promoting the Discover BNI Weekly event through social media. The second initiative, and that bullet point here should actually be a bigger bullet point, it should be the second main initiative, is expanding the use of our Zoho CRM platform. I don't even know how many of you realize that I use Zoho. I do use Zoho in the background, and we may be able to offer accounts for each chapter to be able to have access to their own visitors through the Zoho platform. So that's something that I'm looking into and working on, and it would work very well alongside the visitor flow that I talked about earlier. So those are things I'm doing in the background in order to help grow the funnel of potential visitors. Now, what is your personal plan for 2026? These are some of the things that I would really like to make sure that you are planning in advance. First of all, do you have the weekly meetings in your diary already? And how have you actually allocated the time? For example, if your meeting finishes at 8:30, are you booking yourself for other things at 8:30, or do you have buffer time so that you can spend some time with the visitors who have visited your chapter after the meeting and not rush off immediately? I think that's a really smart use of your time, since you spent the time to get to the venue, be present, hear their introductions, and find out a little bit more about them. To be able to spend that time with them and to ask them questions would be really powerful. And additionally, having one-to-ones while you're all there makes a lot of sense too, rather than having another travel time that you need to do. So scheduling one-to-ones in advance and having those be maybe not held at the same venue, but held immediately following your meetings is probably a smart thing. Andrew, would you like to add?
Thank you so much. I was going to suggest something that I see happening in a lot of chapters. That's where people will recommend to visitors be there for 6:30, 7:15, whatever time you want your visitors to be there, but tell them to hang around till 9, not 8:30. Give that window of opportunity whereby the visitor can relax, network, get to know people, and then leave and get on with their day. It just gives them a sufficient time without being stressed and hassled. That's all.
Yeah, I agree. And there's two different people who should tell them that. First of all, the person who invited them. And second of all, the visitor host team can help set expectations and provide a little checklist of things to remember. So that, we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Don't forget, please park so that you can stay until about 9 o'clock, or make sure you've paid your parking through 9, so that we can really make the most effective use of your time and add value to you. So those are things that both the invitor and the visitor host team can support. I love that idea. Weekly one-to-ones. Now, I've done a lot of podcast listening, and I'm sure you all have too. And weekly one-to-ones are an expectation of membership. And you might be wondering, but I've already met with everybody, or I've already asked everybody, but I haven't gotten through, or, all kinds of things. One-to-ones, there's a whole other training I could do on this, and I'm not going to do it now, but all the different topics you could talk about in a one-to-one. Initial one-to-ones are probably gains exchanges. And then future one-to-ones may also be gains updates. There might be goals you've recently accomplished, or new goals that you've set. So weekly one-to-ones are things that are really important to do, and one-to-one purpose might be different. Here's my suggestion. I suggest that in order to powerfully increase the amount of referrals you're able to give and you're able to receive for 2026, book 2 every week. 1 with someone in your power team, and 1 with someone who is either new to your chapter or not in your power team. Now, when I say new to your chapter, I do want to honor the Passport to Success program. I believe that the Passport program should be the first priority for new members. So they should be having one-to-ones with the people who are in the Passport program. And that should be their first priority. But you also want to say, listen, when you're done with your Passport, I would love to schedule a one-to-one with you. Why don't we book one for a couple months from now? Reaching out to them will make them feel very welcome. So someone new or someone not in your power team who you haven't met with in the last few months or even year. I believe that all of our chapters are the size where you could meet with everybody at least once per year and probably meet with people more frequently than that. If your chapter is 20 or so, then you should be meeting with people probably 2 or 3 times per year. And if your chapter is 30 or 40, it could still be that size. Sometimes there's people who aren't naturally, you're not thinking that they're a natural fit. I don't need to meet with them more frequently. You'd never know who they know. My personal example for this is that I was a candle lady, of course, and many people thought I don't need to meet with the candle lady. I don't have a lot in common with her. I'm an accountant. I'm a financial planner. I'm a buyer's agent. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a chiropractor. I'm a nutritionist. I don't need to meet with the candle lady. But they didn't know who I knew. And they didn't know I was married to an IT specialist. And they didn't know that that IT specialist had lots of clients and was serving a specific target market. And all of a sudden, I had a variety of people that were like, wait a minute, I should really meet with Wendy, the candle lady. Who are they missing out on in your network because they don't know you? And share with them who you know, because that's important. And you're not going to start sharing your entire network with each other on the first meeting. You're not, because you're getting to know, like, and trust each other. So each of these one-to-ones should have a different purpose. Today, I'd really like to understand your gains. Next time that we meet, I'd really like to understand the sales process you go through with your clients so that I understand what my referrals will go through. The next time, I'd really like to understand the last 10 clients you had and where they came from and what kind of services you could provide them and where what sort of success you had with them and whether or not you want more like that or fewer like that. Feedback. There's always a good purpose. So if you book some time for weekly one-to-ones, you can control that time. Let's say that you schedule every week, I'm making this up, an hour for a one-to-one after your meeting, and an hour on a Friday at lunchtime. Now, again, I made that time up. You could put it any time that's convenient for you, but you could say, listen, I strategically would like to invite people to go out to lunch with me. Never eat lunch alone is something that some people say. I never want to eat lunch alone. I want to eat lunch with a referral partner. What is your plan for making sure that you achieve your one-to-ones with purpose? The third bullet here is weekly inviting, and that's the Invite 3 campaign. So please make sure that on the day of your meeting, not the next day, not 24 hours later, but the day of your meeting, that you are inviting 3 people to the next meeting. If they can't come to the next meeting, but they're intrigued by your invitation, of course, you can share with them that the following week would be fine. If they can't come to see Alan's presentation about wallpaper and they're in the building industry, say, well, listen, you could still come the next week and I'll introduce you to Alan. And you could say something like this. It might even be better because he won't be presenting, so he won't be overwhelmed and he'll have more time for you. You see how I made a negative into a positive? You can't see his presentation, but you'll probably get more time with him because he won't be thinking about his presentation as much. Glass is always full. If someone is interested and can't come one week, make them want to come the next week. Schedule those 15 minutes and you will be successful in your Invite 3 campaign as long as you honor that time in your diary. Monthly chapter success meetings. Chapters that thrive have active memberships. people don't rely on leadership teams or other people to make their chapters successful. They participate. So our weekly meetings are structured by BNI, and they are meant to be positive and vibrant and energetic experiences that attract members and attract visitors. They're meant to be showcases of the power of that seat, that BNI system, so that you as a member feel like you're getting your money's worth, and so that visitors look at it and say, how can I get some of that? That's what the weekly meeting is. But in order for the weekly meeting to flow well, the monthly chapter success meetings reviews in a 30-minute structured environment how each person and each team is working to make it flow well. And it's all about improvement. What little tweaks could we make next month in order to make things better? And so when you have your chapter success meetings, schedule that time, prioritize it, and participate, and hold your leadership team accountable to the 30-minute window so that you can be efficient. Because the monthly chapter success meeting is described by BNI as well. It's part of our system. Should be efficient. Shouldn't be a 2-hour meeting. Should be 30 minutes to review. Renewal dinner invitations. Every single one of you, I hope, will be approved for renewals. And you will apply for renewals because you'll want to stay involved in your BNI chapter. And when you apply, pay, and are approved, I will be inviting you to come to a renewal dinner with me and with the new members of our region in 2026. I would love for you to come. It's going to be an opportunity for you to meet the new members that are coming in, to share the reason why you decided to renew, to network across our region, and to get some insight from me on sharpening your skills in BNI. I think it will be a great event, and it will be one that you'll be invited to when you renew. And the final plan that I think you should work on for 2026 is being smart about your chapter education units. We often talk about the fact that chapter education units is an hour a week. And so what is that? That might be 4 or 5 Ivan Meisner podcasts. That might be a training session that you watch on Business Builder. It might be a book that you read from the BNI library. It might be things that you do through spit it out, Wendy. Coming to the leadership roundtable. That was the words I wanted to find. Thank you. Going to the leadership roundtable and participating in that in order to find out how the region is going and what things you could do to contribute. You get chapter education units by going to chapter success meetings, which means that you know how your chapter is performing and what you're doing. And also through leadership team training that you have access to all year round. So if you want to know how the visitor hosts do their job, ask to be assigned visitor host training as an information. Be strategic. Don't feel like you're just making up the numbers. And ask for support in that from your chapter director, because your support and growth director is there to help you. Be smart about the chapter education units you're doing. I think we can be much more strategic in the way we learn and sharpen the right skills for ourselves. You want to get better at closing deals for your clients, then offer to help do the visitor orientation at the end of the chapter meeting and learn those skills, which are completely transferable to the skills that you would need in your business. So that is the personal 2026 plan. Now we're to the Ask Wendy Anything portion of our Lunch and Learn. Nobody's still chewing. So what I'm going to do is stop the share and offer for you guys to ask me any questions that you have. Something about BNI, something about your business, something about how you can do things well, any advice that you'd like. And I'd love for each of you to ask something. So Andrew, you are unmuted. I'm going to start with you.
Oh my goodness, my goodness! You and I talk so often, we meet so often. Are you going
Yeah,
to keep the recording going for the questions?
I am.
Alrighty. So no, I wasn't ready for this. I've been pondering this for the last 10 minutes, to be honest. My question to Wendy Lloyd Curley would be, what's our ideal chapter size in 2026?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I've set a personal goal that all of our chapters have a minimum of 36 members.
Okay.
Now, the reason I've set that personal goal is that means six contact spheres times 6 members, which
Oh,
gives
that's
us
the easy definition. Yeah.
which gives us much more ability to create powerful contacts, powerful power teams, because we will have the people in the room that can actually do the work with each other and create the activities. So my ideal minimum chapter is 36. My ideal chapter size is 50. I believe that 50 and higher is going to create the most success for our members. And we know for a fact that a chapter of 50 will achieve 76% more closed business per person than a chapter of 25 with the same exact amount of work.
That's exciting.
Same amount of work, same number of one-to-one, same number of CEUs, same number of meetings that you go to, same everything, but more results, more closed business. And why is that? It's because the network that we have access to is bigger. The number of people who we're connected to is larger through our members. So yeah, that would be my answer. And that's a great question. I love it.
Thank you.
Alan, would you like to ask a question? Any question will do. It could even be what's it called? Strategic.
Well, Wendy, thank you. Questions. Yeah, I thought of asking you a few questions about where you see the region going in the next 12 months. But I want to bring it back. I want to be a little bit selfish on this because I find myself, and thank you, as a sort of one of the support directors, we've chatted a lot during DNA and that, and I found myself in an unfamiliar position right now where I looking for strategies now to help the chapter that I support become number one in the region this time next year.
Wonderful.
So
Time for a one-to-one.
who do I need to be other than who I am, and what do I need to do?
I love that. Number one, I think we need to share our goals and ambitions with each other. So we need to share that. I think you need to talk to people about how competitive you are, and let them know, listen, yeah, because people want to give to you as well. So if you're the support and growth director for a chapter, let them know that you are compared to me, to Andrew, to Emma, to the other, to Annette, to all of the other support growth directors, and let them know that you're a competitive little beast, and you would really like to show them that the systems that you're using with the chapter that you support are successful, and ask them what you can do to help them help you achieve your goal. People want to do that. So number one, I would do that. And that's another reason why the gains exchange works, everybody. Sharing your goals and asking how you can help people achieve them is good. So one, share your goal. I love your goal. Number two, let them know how comfortable you are with the system of BNI working and with the divide and conquer initiative. Dividing and conquering is the way to do it. So you want to make sure that they're all getting the benefits of the system, because that will help them. So again, it's giver's gain. I think that will help. And number three, just because we have a short period of time, that I will say is communication and regular, I call it poking, but poking in a fun way, regularly poking I got a phone call today from another executive director just saying, hi, wanted to wish you a Merry Christmas and I hope you have a great break. And that was just a really nice phone call to get. So it wasn't about doing anything or getting anything or giving anybody, but I think we need to form personal relationships, and having good one-to-ones with our team as support and growth directors is powerful. Helping them understand what their goals are. Oh, by the way, ask them if they would be interested in sharing that goal. That would be another piece of advice. That's a
Perfect.
great question.
Thank you. Great answer.
Thank you. All right. Danielle, how about you? Any questions?
I really love those answers. That's very collaborative and getting people on board. That was excellent. I think for me, I just wrote down a note that I wanted to look up. I put my hand up at the chapter success meeting the other day for events coordinator
Nice.
at Pittwater, and I was just wrote down, go to Business Builder and see if there's training for the events person. Is there training for the events person? That's my question for you.
Excellent. Well, there is, and I'll send it to you. And I also want to let you know this. There's a little distinction between events and social coordinator. Events coordinator and social coordinator. Now, I don't know if you've made that distinction, but social coordinator is for the social events you do outside of the meeting. Events coordinator is talking about what are the events we're inviting people to in the meeting. So
We did have distinction, Wendy, between growth and events
yeah,
in
yeah.
discussion in the CSM.
Good. So what you might want to think about is International Networking Week, for example, is an event, and that's good. Or another event you might do in the future is a consumer services stack day, focus day,
Yeah.
or doing things like that. The answer is yes, and the answer is always ask your director, and if they don't know how to assign or what to assign, I will find it. Yeah.
No, that's good. But that's also, you've also elaborated, because I actually didn't understand what the growth thing was either, Andrew. So that was good.
I love it. Fantastic. Great question. And finally, Edward, any questions for you? I'd love to answer one.
Not really a question, but maybe any best practices that you have seen across the region that each other chapter can learn from?
I think yes, I think having an active WhatsApp chat for the visitor host team and an active WhatsApp chat for the mentor and passport mentor team and an active WhatsApp chat for the membership committee. The chapters that have those three established and they're active on a weekly basis, I find are very successful. Because they're communicating with each other about, okay, I'm ready for this. I've got that. I'm not going to be there for this. Can you help set up all of those sorts of things? And they also are communicating about new member experience, or they're communicating about renewals, 7-month reviews, and applications that have come in. So those three WhatsApp chats being led by the coordinator. So it's the mentor coordinator for one, it's the vice president for another, and it's the visitor host coordinator. Those people should be not barking orders at everybody, but communicating and collaborating. And here's my secret to success for those three groups. Have an offsite meeting and ask yourselves, as each little subgroup, how can we be best in show? How can we be best in region? Like what Alan said, how can we be number one? How can we be the best visitor host team? What do we need to do? And how could we make sure that our new member experience is the best that it could be? Or how can we make sure that we're renewing people and that we're giving the right support to all of our members, which is what the membership committee does. Those would be really great practices. Oh, those are some fantastic questions. I really appreciate you having lunch with me. I'm going to stop the recording and say I hope that this has helped everybody, really. So thank you for watching if you watched the recording.